Welcome to another Freshservice Tips and Tricks. My name is Kyle Hamilton. I'm a sales engineer at Flycast Partners. And the title of today's video is how to use single sign-on to make logins easy. A frequent question we get from customers at Flycast is how can we make things easier for our users to be able to access Freshservice, whether that be your agents that are logging in on a daily basis, or whether that be your customers that are needing to submit tickets and request services through the customer portal. Making things easy is a way to increase user adoption and just a good general overall way to make the user experience that much better. So single sign-on that's available through Freshservice enables you to set up that ease of login for a user so that they don't have to remember another ID, another password, another set of credentials. Freshservice provides the ability for you to enable multiple types of authentication, whether you're using Google, whether you're using Okta, whether you're using Ping Identity, whether you're using Azure AD, Shibboleth, on and on. There's numerous single sign-on options that are available for you to add into your Freshservice instance. You'll see the link located right down here at the bottom. And then within each individual single sign-on option, you can go in and configure the specifics about how your users will connect and authenticate using that particular option. So if we talk about one login or Google, when I look at the configuration page for single sign-on, you'll see a couple of common themes that are provided throughout. In order to set this up, you're going to need two pieces of information from Freshservice. You're going to need the consumer URL and you're going to need the service provider ID. At the same time, you're going to need some information from the single sign-on tool. In this case, if that's one login, I'm going to need the issuer URL. I'm going to need that SAML endpoint that are both going to be provided by one login, as well as the X509 certificate you see down at the bottom of the screen to enable communication back and forth. So keep in mind, you've got to provide the one login information to Freshservice, and you've got to provide the Freshservice information to one login. It requires both pieces to enable that pathway so that your users can then easily access Freshservice without having to have a secondary ID or password or another set of credentials. So what does this look like for a user? Well, the user, when they go to the self-service portal, if they're already authenticated via Google, via Okta, via Ping Identity, via Azure ADFS, when they go to the login option, you'll see those options actually presented right there at the top of the screen. So you'll notice here on my Freshworks sign-in, I have an option for signing in with Google. I have an option for signing in with one login. I can even enable signing in with a magic link, which gives the user a very specific URL that will be sent to their email account that would give them direct access to the tool without having to log in. It simply requires having access to that very special URL, and those get generated only for the users of Freshservice. So an outsider or a stranger could not hit this site and click sign in with a magic link. They don't have an account, they don't have an email ID, so they won't ever receive that link. So that's only going to be valid for your Freshservice users, but that's another alternative to give them a special URL that allows them to access the system without having to have an ID or password, or even have to set up single sign-on. The thing to watch out for there is making sure that you're in compliance with any security policies and things like that, directed around authentication and how users must authenticate. What this does for your users, though, is when I need to log into the Freshservice customer portal in this example, I can simply say that I want to sign in with my existing Google account. So I don't have to create something new. I simply say, use my Google authentication. And then once I provide that Google authentication, you'll see the next thing I see is the landing page for the Freshservice customer portal. So when you're looking to drive adoption with things like self-service, make it easy for users and your agents to access Freshservice, single sign-on is a great way to make it simple so that they don't have that sticky note on their monitor or their keyboard with that password and ID, creating a security problem. That way they've got an easy way to access the service desk, to be able to create tickets, to be able to create requests, to get their status, to search the knowledge base, all while making it extremely easy and simple for them to use.
Thank you for watching another Freshservice Tips and Tricks presented by Flycast Partners. If you like our videos and this content, please like and subscribe to always be updated on the latest tips and tricks. And if you need more Freshservice help or resources, reach out to Flycast Partners Professional Services at info@flycastpartners.com.